why the world is so weak. Remember the Rothschilds and their evil plans. Take your money and what their plans. You're like to take. This is the end. Time to fight back. Time to take your gold back. End it.
And the Fed. It's the only way to freedom, folks. There's no other path to freedom without ending the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve has owned this nation since 1913. Total, complete control. That's why I have the little guy on my thing here. Let me just show that to you again. I'm going to take myself off the screen. Look at our band. Elon, Donald Trump, and Jerome Powell. Those are the guys. Those are the guys that are making moves, pulling the strings right now. Jerome is actually just the front guy. It's the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Warburgs, and there's like 11 families behind it that are actually pulling the string. He's just the front guy. They put him up there. Say, see, look, we have this guy. Good morning, everybody. We are live. Welcome to the Impact Money Show. We're broadcasting live from the Capitol swamped turned studio of Washington, D.C., where the politicians are spicier than a chili at Ben's Chili Bowl, and the money moves faster than a lobbyist chasing a tax break. Before we dive into the chaos, let's talk weather, because if you're braving the streets of D.C. today, you deserve a heads up. It's a brisk 34 degrees Fahrenheit out there. That is Fahrenheit, folks. I'm not going to do the math like some metric-loving meteorologist. Precipitation's at the big fat 0%, so leave the umbrella at home unless you're using it to fend off hot air blowing from Capitol Hill. Humidity's sitting at 48%, and the wind's lazy 4 miles per hour, barely enough to mess up a senator's comb over or scatter the cherry blossom petals we're still pretending are around. Bundle up, DC. It's chilly enough to make you wish you'd bought stock in electric blankets instead of that crypto coin your cousin won't shut up about. Now, if I've been up since the roosters this morning, we're still snoring, piercing through today's show, and let me tell you, it's a wild one. Everything's all over the place, even as I put the show together. It's something else. Good morning to all you beautiful people tuning in, whether you're sipping an artisan latte or chugging an instant coffee because you overslept your alarm like I did yesterday. My wife decided it was a great idea to start packing for our trip last night, even though she's not leaving for days. This is the only day, not last night, the night before. And like seriously, 1:30 in the morning, I'm still up. And then of course, what happened? I missed my alarm. Doesn't happen very often, but it did happen. I'm pumped to have you with me as we unpack the madness of April 9th, 2025. With my trusty friend, Matt Dixon, will be on here in a little while, as well as Vin Menon will be joining the show, the great Vin Menon with Mindwave DAO. It is really something else. Whether it's ideas, research, or just yelling about the latest headlines, I've got you covered this morning. Today's theme, cash, chaos, and a little bit of crazy. How the world's spinning and where your money fits into the mess. Let's dive into it like a pool party, and the water's made of gold. First up, the latest news, and holy cow, it's like the planet decided to throw a temper tantrum over with extra glitter. Globally, we're in the middle of an economic cage match. China's squaring off with the U.S. over tariffs, vowing to fight to the end. Like it's the final round of the Rocky movie. Markets are trying to claw their way back after a brutal sell-off earlier this week. More of that in a bit. Here at home, Donald Trump swinging a deportation stick as he dug out of a 1798 history book. Yes, you heard that right. 1798, when people were still arguing over whether powdered wigs were tax deductible. Meanwhile, on the lighter side, K-pop sensation Close Your Eyes just nabbed their first music show win. Congrats, kids. You earned a victory dance. And the Filipino boy band, Who Cares? Let's zoom in on Trump, because there's guys generating headlines faster than a tabloid press on a slow day. He's been dominating the news with a double whammy of deportation drama and tariff tantrums. Yesterday, the Supreme Court gave him a thumbs up to use a dusty old Alien Enemies Act from 1798 to ship out alleged Venezuelan gang members. Think Tren de Agua. Tough guys, though they slapped some guardrails on it. Detainees got a notice and a chance to fight back via habeas corpus, but over 200 are already cooling their heels in El Salvador mega jail. Probably wondering if they can get a trade prison jumpsuits for beachwear. Critics are howling about wartime overreach. Picture historians clutching their pearls while supporters are popping champagne over the crime crackdown. Me? I'm just amazed they found law older than my grandma's fruitcake recipe. It's pretty entertaining, or pretty interesting, right? On the economic front, Trump's tariffs war with China is hotter than a jalapeno eating contest. He slapped a jaw-dropping 104% duty on Chinese goods, effective today, and tossed out the threat of 50% more if Beijing doesn't fold like a cheap lawn chair. And that's what, the markets were looking great yesterday. Looking great, relative term. They were going up, though. And then, man, that 104% came out and bam, everything just again crashed. And then even while I was putting the show together this morning, the futures markets were clawing back. We went in positive territory in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. We'll talk about a little bit more about that. And almost in Dow futures. And then just, boom, again, down. We'll see how it all plays out. It's trying. You know what I mean? Yeah. China's not blinking, saying, bring it on. And the markets are doing a jittery tango, up 1 minute, crashing the next. He also signed an order, this is Trump, to pump U.S. coal production, tying it to power demands. Nothing screams future like digging up the past, right? Environmentalists are losing their minds, but Trump's team is buzzing with a cryptic hint about treason crackdowns and a massive fine for DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. Folks, not the meme coin. Details are scarcer than a politician's promise after Election Day, but the IRS head bailing yesterday has tongues wagging about immigration data shakeups. It's a chaotic stew, deportations, trade battles, and coal-fired curveballs. Buckle up. I'm going to make a prediction on that, though. Nobody's getting charged for any type of treason. That's going to be memory hold. That's just my call. I hope I'm wrong, but, whatever. I don't think any of these happen. And that's what always happens. They just tease it, and then everybody, oh, yeah, it's going to happen, and then nothing ever happens. Hopefully it changes. Trump's only been back in office for, 110 or 120 days. So I guess you got to give the guy a chance, right? Although he's been able to do a lot of other stuff. Over on Capitol Hill, the legislative news is popping like corn in a microwave. Trump's tariff spree has lawmakers scrambling. Republican Don Bacon dropped a bill yesterday to wrestle trade power back from the White House, with David Vladio giving a nod. Yeah, I'm in. 6 Senate Republicans teamed up with the Dems in a bipartisan push to clip Trump's tariff wings. Last week, 4 GOP senators even flipped to kill his Canada tariffs, handing him his first big legislative spanking this term. But here's the twist. A sneaky clause in last month's funding bill blocks the House from voting against Trump trade moves. Checkmate. Or just a timeout? Meanwhile, Trump's got 2 bills in the hopper this week. The No Rogue Rulings Act, try saying that with a mouthful of marbles, to rein in these activist judges, and the SAVE Act to lock down voter eligibility. Early test of his clout. Grab your popcorn. Oh, and the new Mexico's governor, Michelle Lejuan Grisham, just signed a 101 bills into law. Semi-open primaries. Work permits for some non-citizens, and a water plan that's got environmentalists doing a happy dance. Across the border, Canada's hitting back today with 25% tariffs on U.S. autos, and that don't pay USMCA rules. Trade wars is cooking, folks. It is just going. Now, Elon Musk, where do I start? This guy's a walking headlines generator. Tesla just posted its worst sales drop ever, 13% down in Q1 2025, while rivals like BYD are raking in 60% rather revenue growth. Fingers are pointing at Musk's Trump bromance and his Doge efficiency crusades. Turns out some buyers don't love their EVs with the side of politics. That's the way it works, right? Shares took a dive, but perked up after he swatted down rumors of quitting the political game, calling it fake news. Last week, politically, he's licking his wounds after sinking $25 million into losing Wisconsin's Supreme Court battle. Brad Schimmel's out, Susan Crawford's in, and Dems are giggling that Musk's turning into electoral kryptonite. Now that's Susan Crawford. I mean, the big push there is going to be to redistrict how the vote is counted in Wisconsin, and it should make sure that the state stays blue, is what they're all saying now that with the Supreme Court. Trump's whispering Elon might ditch Doge by May 30th. Some 130-day cap thing that they're talking about, I guess. It seems legit, but Musk camp says he's sticking around till the job's done. He's also trading barbs with tariff hawk Peter Navarro. Think playground insults with billion-dollar stakes. On the fun side, he's teasing a Starship rocket reflight and might stream tonight if his sniffles clear up. Meanwhile, Europe's roasting him with the Heil Tesla stunt. Say what you will, the man's a magnet for drama. Let's jet over to the Ukraine. The war's still a brutal grind. Russia's nearly wrestled back Kursk. Only 2 villages left in the fight. Hammered Dnipro and Kharkov overnight, leaving 17 injured. Last week's strike on Kryvyi Rih, Zelensky's hometown, killed 19, including 9 kids, and Sunday's Kiev hit left 1 dead, 7 wounded. Heartbreaking stuff. Trump's ceasefire pushback is hitting a brick wall. Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned Russia's time ticking, but Moscow's stalling, demanding the moon while bombs keep falling. Zelensky is fuming, calling out the U.S. for weak response, confirmed the Ukrainian ops in Russia, Belgorod region. First time he said out loud, wild twist, they nabbed 2 Chinese soldiers fighting with the Russians. International intrigue alert. I mean, I'm sure that they're just mercenaries, but anyway, I mean, who knows, I guess. They nabbed, so that is interesting. Belgium's pledging 1 billion euros. Germany's in for 7 billion next year. Europe's holding strong while the U.S. policies waffles. Vladimir Putin's not taking a breather either. He drafted 160,000 troops, biggest haul in years, and keeps pounding Ukraine while thumbing his nose at Trump's peace talks. Rubio says Putin's got weeks to reel. Russia's like, sanctions first, then maybe. He's playing PR too. Sent a puppy to the Donetsky girl who wrote him after fleeing the war zone. Oh, Vlad, you're such a diplomat. The Gaza situation's a gut punch. Israel's back in full swing after the ceasefire. I mean, actually, the funny thing about Putin and this whole thing is, how in the world had someone like that even negotiate with the U.S. president? Like, it's like kind of crazy, the system that we have set up. I'm not saying that we change it per se, but like, we change the president every few years, and then so kind of like whatever you negotiate just gets like thrown out the door. It's like all these manufacturing companies, like, yeah, some of them are going to come and build their manufacturing here and everything else, but in 3 or 4 years, it just might change again, and everything goes cheap again. It's very hard to navigate. It's very hard to navigate. Anyway, the Gaza situation is a gut punch. Israel's back in full swing, shooting everybody up, dropping bombs everywhere after the ceasefire flop. There's over 50,000 dead, kind of any way you cut it. Some people say it's over 60. Other people say it's under 50, I guess. But I don't know. I always take the high number and cut it in half, I suppose. I think it's a 67 divided by 2. Over 30,000 people are dead. Many of them, I think most of them are women and kids. It's really, really rough. 34 killed yesterday, including journalist Khan Yunus. Rafah's a ghost town after last week's evacuation order. Tents got bombed. Tents, folks. Tents got bombed. Families displaced. The UN. I mean, why are we dropping $1 million bombs on tents? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. The UN's Antonio, with kids in them most of the time. The UN's Antonio Guterres is calling it intolerable, begging for civilian protection. The West Bank's seen 40,000, hundreds of thousands of fleas since January, worse since 67. While the UN reports from March 13th scream genocide, of course, ethnic cleansing over wrecked healthcare. They had 39 hospitals. They have 0 hospitals now. Israel bombed every hospital that they had. Israel is pushing back hard. Trump's floating the freedom zone for Gaza. Says we're going to take it. We're going to hold it. Hold it. We're going to take it. Hold it. Critics say it's ethnic cleansing, dressed up pretty. France, Egypt, and Jordan are pleading for a ceasefire. Fingers crossed, but it's a mess over there. Markets, hold on to your hat. U.S. stocks took a wild ride yesterday after Trump's 104% tariff bomb. Pre-market soared and then crashed. Pre-market soared. I mean, it was like, it was really, I mean, we were having a great day. I mean, we were up 1,000 points on the Dow, over 1,000 points. Crypto was going, everything was going. Gold, it was all going up. But then the Dow closed 374 down. S&P also closed down 498. Futures are perking up, or they were. No, futures were perking up as I put together the show. And then they kind of went back down again. Currently, Dow futures down about 300 or almost 1%. And the rest of them following suit there as it goes. Expect a roller coaster. The Dow, it's really trying to counter tariff threats, a wild card. You know, it's stay tuned. The dollar's wobbling. The DXY is at 10238. Gold is soaring, up 2.4% at 3,063, and silver up 2%. Safe haven fever. Gold might hit 3,100 today. Silver 3,132. Hong Kong's Hang Seng is up 0.68%. China's propping it, but trade war is a beast. The U.S. dollar, Japanese yen is at 145.25. The yen is flexing. Bank of Japan tightening. Carry trade unwinding. Slow. Oil's tanking at $57.55, down 3.4%. Pump prices might drop to $250 at the Costco and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see. I guess the official price right now is $295. But recession odds are at 60%. It's a double-edged sword. Cheap gas, shaky jobs. Now let's talk crypto, because the digital money world's buzz like a beehive on a sugar high. Bitcoin sitting at, let me just, because everything's popping around so much. Put together the show, and then, of course, we're live. So we push back down a little bit here. 77,150, I guess, is where we're at right now. Ethereum took a major dive down. It's trading in the 1400s. XRP is also, I guess it's popping around so much. I'm just going to kind of read all this off here. XRP is down 3% today. BNB is pretty steady, pretty flat today, actually. BNB, that is a really strong currency, guys. That's a strong currency. It doesn't move much. That's a strong currency. I have to tell you that. I think we may see BNB really come back over this next year or so. Really come back blazing. I really think so. Dogecoin down about 3%. Yeah, everything's kind of just a mess in the crypto markets as well. TextNuts, an AI coffee bot from March 18 adapts like a pro barista. Talking about AI and robotics here. Groot in one for March 17 promises smart humanoids. Regenerative healing. This is pretty wild. Zebrafish regrows heart last month. A mini liver's printed, and lifespan tweaks could add decades. It's a $2 trillion market, something I'm very, very interested in. By 2035, we're going to start moving, I think, in that direction. This weekend, I'm jetting to Lieberland for the 10th anniversary. I will be there speaking at the conference that we have there. Tiny Nation, huge vibes. They are sponsoring the YALCON, which is the Young Libertarians after party on April 26th, Reston, Virginia. Of course, I'm the Washington, D.C. representative, so I'm setting that up. Don't miss it if you're around. May 6th through 7th, we're at Dubai's Global Family Office Investment Summit, throwing the Washington Elite After Party. This will be absolutely amazing. May 27, 29, Bitcoin 2025 in Las Vegas. Use code IMPACTMONEY if you want tickets to that for 10% discount. And then, of course, we have Bitcoin Palooza on the 27th, baby. It's a cash-fueled whirlwind. Stay with us. I have with me here the great Matt Dixon. Sir Matt, how are you?
Hey, good morning, Bruce. Good to see you. Just interesting. While I share my screen, I'll just tell you a little story. You talked about regenerative healing.
Yep.
5 years ago, I had my first cartilage operation back in 1986. I was young then, but I was running over 100 miles a week, 150 kilometers a week over.
Wow.
So I got serious cartilage injury. I had the very first partial meniscectomy or one of the first they ever did back in 1986. But I was told I'll need a knee replacement by the age of 40. I'm much older than that right now. But I was really limping so badly 5 years ago. So I actually got one of the first stem cell therapy treatments on my knee. And basically back to full running. It's just amazing, just absolutely amazing. Having been told I would need to have knee replacement over 25 years ago almost now. And now in a situation where I'm running every day, sprinting every day, going to the track, all because of stem cell therapy.
Well, I think it's one of the most compelling stories I've heard, because I think we've talked about it a couple of times, and I think you really feel like it affected your whole body as well. I mean, I understand the knee is a very important part of your body. So if the knee is feeling young, then you can do a lot with the rest of your body. But I feel like you felt like it really affected the rest of your body as well. Is that right?
Well, I mean, I enjoy running. It relaxes me, especially with it's a high pressure job, basically trading.
Yeah.
You need a way to relax. So for me, running was that way to relax. And if I'm running, I'm happy. And if you're happy, your body's healthy, I think. So it's very, very important for me. So it isn't just your knees. Your knees affect your psyche, your feeling of happiness, whatever. So it's really been transformative for me. So this stem cell therapy, I would say, definitely worked for me. I have had PRP therapy recently, which is platelet-rich plasma, I think. Anyway, that was just another new one, which seems to work really, really well. So
hold on. When did you have that?
I had that actually 2 or 3 days ago. So
okay, and what was it again?
It's called PRP, platelet-rich plasma. It's basically they just take the platelets, concentrate them from your blood, and inject them into your capsule of your knee joint, and it creates a healing process, which is supposed to be the best way to tackle knee problems, as long as you're not in need of an actual operation. This is a way to avoid an operation, really, and it causes your knee to heal from the inside, really. Inside your knee, it's one of the few places I think there's no blood flow inside your actual knee joint. And so to have this actually creates the healing process, or initiates the healing process, allows you to heal from injuries that otherwise you wouldn't have been able to. So I think that the new treatments, the regenerative treatments you're talking about, are really, we're talking about living older, but we're talking about living older and healthier. So
that's the whole key, right? That's what I always say. Like once stuff stops working, I mean, you don't really want to be around it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like if it's not working, then your quality of life declines so much that then you start to think, well, maybe it's time to move on.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Over to the markets.
Well, that's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing, Matt.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet. No.
Okay. Maybe there's a problem. I have shared it. Let me just double check. Perhaps it says stop sharing.
Now I see it. Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, I'll start on the gold chart. We've got a few to go through today, but I know we're limited on time, so I'll run through quickly. Gold, as you say, has been rallying today. So we can see from the low point, we've had basically an ABC higher. At the moment, it's 3 waves. I think it's going to stay as 3 waves, and we'll get a further movement down. We may have a bit more upside to go before we actually turn down again, I think. But from the top, I think we've had 5 waves down. It follows the Elliott wave rules. but it's not ideal. We've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Wave 4 didn't overlap into wave 1. It just almost equaled it. And then we got another wave down to give us 5 waves down. But we haven't got any particularly extended wave, I don't think. Actually, it'd be worth just checking. Maybe it was extended. I'll just double check on that while we're talking. It's worth checking. So I measure wave 1. It's good just to see what I do anyway. So measure the magnitude of wave 1 there. That's roughly, put it onto the top of wave 2. Wave 3 actually went to 1.382. So that wouldn't qualify as a normal wave 3, because for me, a wave 3 needs to be a minimum. The extended wave, whether it's wave 3 or 5, and as I've said before, sometimes it's wave 5 in gold, but neither of those waves are an extension, because an extension for me needs to be a minimum 1.618 times the shortest wave, and it isn't here. But we could have some kind of leading diagonal on the way down. If that's the case, it's quite a negative sign. But anyway, at the moment, I'm counting it as 5 waves down. This looks clearly 3 waves up. We may go a little bit higher, but then I'd expect more downside to come. So as I say, buy dips. I think there's lower to go yet with gold, I believe. And so I would look to wait for a further low to buy more. But we've been buying gold within this show. We've been promoting gold, buying gold. I'm sure you hold some gold. I hold a little bit of gold. It's been something we've been talking about for the past over a year now, well over a year. And as you know, gold has rocketed. But this is obviously, it's quite interesting to see, because no one ever knows quite how gold is going to react. Obviously, it's a safe haven asset, and it's performed really well in the face of these tariffs. But it's still, in some ways, it's also still a risk asset. Obviously, you can't live on gold. You can't really trade on gold. If the markets go down, people still have to encash their gold investments to meet other liabilities. So it's a tough one. But all in all, gold is really recognized as a safe haven asset. And in this world of uncertainty, I still think that it's good to buy the dips with gold. Looking at oil, which is another commodity that we look at quite a lot, we're seeing quite an impulsive move down. Now, this reflects the Trump tariffs, obviously affecting business, affecting consumption. If prices of everything go up, and they're talking about, even Trump people themselves say it's going to push up prices by 10%. That means a massive hike in inflation. That means there's going to be less money available. It's a good thing that oil price is falling, because maybe that helps with inflation. So at this juncture, it might be interesting to look at the CME, what the expectations are for the interest rates for the future. So we look at this occasionally, and here we have the next meeting, May the 7th meeting. You can see the expectation, the majority is, it's above 50%, is that we're going to hold rates at 4.25 to 4.5. So that would be a hold on rates. So the majority is for that. But actually, it's really close call, because it's almost 50% chance of a cut in rates, 25 basis point cut in rates. So we can see now that the economy is beginning to soften. Obviously, they've got the a lot of assets falling sharply, but there are signs of the economy softening as well. So we're getting closer and closer to a potential rate cut. But if we move on to the June expectation, well, actually, before I do that, we can see, obviously, the chances are at the moment we're going to hold rates at 4.25 to 4.5. If we go to the end of the year, look at the December 10th meeting at the end of the year, the chances are, the majority chance is that the rates will be 3.25 to 3.5. That's precisely 1% below where we stand now. So Bruce mentioned a few shows ago that the odds were that we're going to get 3 cuts this year. It seems now that the odds have moved up a little bit, that we may even be getting 4 cuts this year. So this FedWatch tool is telling us the likelihood is, the majority expectation is, that we're going to be a full 1 percentage point lower than we are at the moment. So that's 4 cuts. So we've moved from 3 cuts to 4 cuts. That means that the expectations are the economy is going to be a bit softer than we expected, so they're going to have to cut rates more. So just to flip back to June, so the next meeting is obviously May 7th. The meeting after that is June 18. So June 18, chances are it's 50% chance that we're cutting by 25 basis points. There's actually almost a 50% chance, a 48.8% chance that we're going to cut by 50 basis points. So if we don't get a cut, and this reflects the fact that it's almost even odds whether we cut or not in May, but it's almost even odds whether we get a 25 basis point cut or a 50 basis point cut in June.
Wow.
So that obviously makes sense, doesn't it? So it shows that really it's likely we're going to see 50 basis points by June. So if we see 25 basis points in May, then we should still see another 25 basis points probably in June. So rates are going to come down quite rapidly. So people are getting really pessimistic now in crypto world particularly, but even in traditional asset world, people are starting to get really negative, saying, how can it possibly turn around? I know some big traders who are saying they cannot possibly see the crypto market really recovering now. A lot of these tokens are down so far, like Solana is down, 70% or something from its recent all-time high. It wasn't long ago. And they say once assets fall by that much, it's really difficult to recover. Well, I think there's going to be a surprise. And I think, and I mentioned briefly yesterday, I think that Trump is going to claim a major victory with these tariffs. Some countries, who knows with China? China said they're digging their feet in and saying they're not going to move, and they're going to fight these tariffs. Trade war is full on. They're up for it. I think that we're actually going to be the world will step back from hopefully all that trade war. Trump will claim victory, and so we'll see tariffs reduced, and at the same time we'll see interest rates reduced. So he'll say also that he's also won a victory over Fed Chair Powell, because Fed Chair Powell is saying we're not able to drop rates yet. But clearly we can see from rate expectations here, we're going to see lower rates, and probably even 0.5% lower by June, which is 2 more cuts by June possibly. So everything is going to be looking really rosy potentially for Trump, saying he won the victory, he's got trade in order, he's going to be correcting the trade balance. Now, if trade comes down, by the way, clearly the trade balance is going to be better because America buys most of the goods. If these price rises stop people from buying, it means there's going to be less buying, less trade. So trade overall will go down, but the actual imbalance, the trade deficit, will reduce. So Trump will be able to claim victory on 3 fronts there, reducing the deficit. He'll be able to pull back on the tariffs, and he'll be able to say we've got lower interest rates, which are going to stimulate the economy moving forward. So he will really be shouting out what an amazing man he is. He's done all this and it's wonderful. But I believe, unfortunately, although this will cause an amazing rally, which is great, I think the damage will already have been done. And there's always a lag effect with things, like we've mentioned before, a big steamship. When you turn the rudder, it takes a long time to actually turn the ship. Same with this. Things that are happening now, it will be a long time before they actually impact the economy. But I think damage is being done to the economies, and we're going to see, I believe, a really catastrophic crash, probably later this year. And it may align with lots of other events that are going to bring about this crash. We talked about ongoing problems in the Middle East and Russia and Ukraine and so on. I think it'll all come together as a perfect storm, unfortunately. But before that happens, as I mentioned yesterday, we have lower to go initially, and I think we're going to rally to all-time highs. So that will, be counter to what a lot of people are now getting so bearish about the markets. I looked at the Fear and Greed Index. We are in extreme fear territory, and I think we still have further to go with that, because I think we're not in capitulation territory. People are extremely fearful in this market because it's been going down and down, but we're not yet in capitulation territory where people basically throw in the towel. That's when you get the last final sharp spike down in markets, and that's when that is usually signifies the bottom of the market, and then we should rise rapidly from there. So that is my expectation. We saw overnight things turning pretty negative. I mean, this is the 4 hour. If I were to look at the daily, I'll just move on to the daily. Looking at Ethereum here, you can see.
Oh, Ethereum. Oof. People are crying. They're crying.
Yeah. The final daily chart took us to about 1383 on Ethereum. I still think we've got lower to go because there's still a lot more fallout to come from these tariffs before Trump claims his victories. And as I say, I'm pretty sure he will do. Once that happens, that's when the markets will start to rally, and Trump will take all the credit for it, saying it's because of him. But as I say, damage will have been done. But still expecting further lows to come. But that just shows that even overnight, people were getting a bit optimistic yesterday. We saw a good rise throughout yesterday. Then we saw a sharp fall yesterday. And then today, overnight, another sharp fall. So it wiped out all of those short-term gains. And that's what we're saying yesterday. Whilst things look pretty good short-term, there's still lower lows to come. I still believe there's lower lows to come. And the one that confirms it to me is that favorite ton coin that I mentioned before. And we can see, I won't go through it all, but basically it's a 5-wave move down. It's a C wave, which is made up of 5 waves down. We've had wave 1, 2, and 3 down, with a third wave made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the rules, Elliott wave rules, fulfilled perfectly. Then we've got a wave 4 to the upside. It could even be that, it's really difficult to tell whether wave 4 is over. I think it is, because this move down looks really impulsive. But anyway, no matter what, whether wave 4 is complete or not, at some point we need to move lower, below this wave 3, which was at $2.35 on Toncoin. So that's still quite a way lower to go. We're on $3 right now. So quite a bit lower to go below that. But that, for me,
your target is what, 216? Is that what I read on one of your charts?
Yeah, that's the low target. I mean, once we get below, anytime we get below this wave 3 here, which was 237, I'll be looking to dollar cost average all the way down. Yes, I expect the actual final target to be 216, 217. But you never wait for the final, because sometimes you miss out on a big move up. You're playing around for a few tenths of a few, whatever you call them, dimes or whatever. A few 10 cents or whatever. Is a dime 10 cents?
Yes.
Okay. So you're playing around with dimes here, where potentially you've got dollars to the upside. So if you miss out for the sake of a dime to the downside, just trying to be greedy, get a bit lower price, you could miss out on dollars to the upside. And dollars to the upside here, if you're talking from $2 to $8, you're talking 4x, 400% upside for the sake of a dime to the downside. So, you have to make sure you're not too greedy. And dollar cost average is a great strategy, but I wouldn't start just yet. As I say, some people say I keep lowering my low expectations. Well, good thing about trading is you can do that, and you should do that, because you say we're heading lower. Here's the initial target, lower. Once you get there, you reassess the situation. Is it likely to go lower? Then yes. I haven't started dollar cost averaging yet. I think it's a great idea to dollar cost average, but you look at the situation and it still looks as though, well, from this ton chart, we definitely have much lower to go. So I'm waiting for dollar cost average, but dollar cost average actually means I don't know precisely what the low point is going to be, or high point, whichever way you're buying or selling. I don't know precisely, and nobody knows precisely. That's why we dollar cost average. But we have looked at the charts, and we looked at Solana in particular, indicating, and even Toncoin indicates this is just a correction to the downside, a really nasty correction. But don't forget, we had Bitcoin 69,000 at the previous bull market high. It fell all the way down to about 15,000 at the FTX. So a massive fall. Again, everyone was saying that, the sky's falling in, everything's over. And then we got the most amazing rally to brand new all-time high, 109,000 for Bitcoin, relatively quickly. So this just shows you that fear and greed, these extremes, are very, very powerful. And when we get that capitulation, which you'll get when markets do fall, assuming they do, which I believe they will, you'll get capitulation, you'll get a final spike lower, maybe even a bit lower than I expect, and then you get the amazing rise. But if you dollar cost average on the final move down, as I say, you might be not getting in at the very bottom, maybe 10 cents away from the bottom, whatever. But when you're talking dollars to the upside, it's well worth it.
I have Vin Men in here waiting in the wings for us.
Let's leave it for that today. Enough for today. I'm actually going to be traveling tomorrow. I may be able to record something.
Okay.
But otherwise, I'll look forward to catch up Friday. So thanks so much for listening, and let's hope the markets are great. Enjoy the next interview. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Matt. It's always a pleasure.
Cheers. And mine too. Bye for now.
Cheers. What happened here? Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. There he is, the great Vin Menon, Mindwave DAO founder, co-founder. How are you, sir? And I think chief strategy officer as well.
No, yeah, you can call me, yes, co-founder and strategic advisor.
There you go. I knew it was strategy. This guy, you should see him at on when he's live working at these things. He is the chief strategy officer. You look great, brother. Where in the world is Vin Menon?
Yeah, so right now I'm in India,
Okay.
working on our token launch.
Yep.
So we are expecting to go live on Lbank Exchange on 14th.
Okay.
It will be, and we are having our live in our platform here in Impact
That's right.
Money Show. Yeah.
That's right. Right here. All right. So let me I can even pop this up here, guys. You can still use this referral code here, 88100. You get a 5% bonus. Go to sale.mindwavedao.com and you can participate on that before they go live. So April 14th, we're both going to be, where will you be? Will you still be in India?
Yes. So
Okay.
my team is here. So we have an extensive team. Most of the people are flying into India, and we are based out of Delhi right now to work on this launch to make sure that it's a successful launch and move forward.
Amazing. Well, I'll be in Europe, and you will be in India, and we'll be live on the Impact Money Show as it happens. So talk a little bit more. I know we've had you on the show a number of times. We've done some interviews and stuff like this, but this stuff is still so it's sometimes it's untangible for people, right? They can't hold it in their hand. Let's talk about what is behind Mindwave DAO.
Okay, so Mindwave DAO is a platform which is a hybrid DAO platform where a pool of Bitcoins from the Bitcoin miners have been capitalized in a fund. And this fund will be used to trade specific strategies without risking the capital or without moving the Bitcoins outside from our wallet and generate yields. And these yields will be split between the Bitcoin owners, who are the mining companies behind, and DAO token holders. So we are looking at roughly 50-50 split between these two entities, and that will be generating returns on a month-on-month basis for the DAO token.
Well, it's such an interesting concept. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. I just put this here, and you can look at the screen, just make sure it's correct. Bitcoin-backed fund that's paying BTC dividends for Mindwave DAO NILA holders.
That's right. That's right.
This is correct. So it is, and there's now what you've done here. Now, I've worked with Vin Menon for years, and what he's very good at is putting together these things that are insured and they're backed, and they're like even if something does end up, God forbid, going wrong, all the things are in place that should take care of people. Talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. So basically, we work. We run our business as a traditional finance organization, regulated or whatever we can call it. So we are not risking the capital. We are holding that into our wallet and generating yield based on staking and so on. And at the same time, we have multiple risk mitigation strategies in place, just to make sure that in the worst case scenario, we are not generating yield. It will be zero yield. That will be the super worst case scenario we can expect. But otherwise, we are talking about when we are in a bull market, around 3 to 3.5% of the assets in Bitcoin we generate in a month. So that's a kind of a number we have been seeing for the last 6 months. And before that, probably we are looking at during the bear market, we are looking at around 1 to 1.5% per month kind of.
Yeah, well, that's certainly nothing to sneeze at. So let's talk a little bit about you. I know you've done quite a number of things in your life. We have some other things that we're working on as well. Talk to me. Let's tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been into the tech space since I completed my engineering training, and since then I've been working on corporates, some of the big corporates like HP, Compaq, and so on. Then started my first business, which we did an exit after running it for 10 years, expanded the business to 7 countries across 250 employees. After that, then moved into blockchain, and we created our first institutional grade blockchain, which is reinsured by Lloyd's of London insurance platform. So Lloyd's of London syndicates are considered the biggest reinsurance syndicates in the world, and most of them are AAA or AA rated. And we brought that guarantee to the assets which we create in the blockchain. So we made blockchain as a institutional product and started creating multiple applications on that blockchain, which includes NFTs, metaverse, DeFi, exchange services, and so on. So this is how we created this whole aspect of institutionalizing blockchain. And most of our clients, probably more than 98% of our clients, are institutions who really want to test it out, who wants to buy from a insured uh, exchange with only assets which are insured. I'm buying sort of kind of a mindset, and also when you custody, it is fully guaranteed. So I don't want to take the risk of holding the private key or anything. You know, there is a trade desk, there's a custody service which takes care of your assets, and at the same time they can also give you a statement like how you get in a bank statement, so on. So we tried to bring that kind of innovation into the crypto space. The lack of other words at that time, it was always a cowboy market. So we made that into
The
uh,
Wild West. It's the Wild
Wild
West.
West. Yes, Wild West. Yes.
Yeah.
So we made that into institutionalized, platform, and our most of our clients were institutions. So that's how we started our blockchain journey in 2015, 16, and so on. So now,
Amazing. Go ahead.
forward now, yeah. So we run the Bitcoin fund, which we think is going to make the biggest hit, considering the fact that Bitcoin is already on a 6-digit kind of a number, hovering around there. And also, we are using these DAO tokens to create multiple utilities and multiple ecosystems in the insurtech space, in the ad space, in the ad tech space, and climate tech space, and so on.
Amazing. So you've been working a while to get to this point, right? There's a lot that goes into it. Talk a little bit about the team that you've assembled behind this and how things are gearing up in order to go into the launch on the 14th.
Yeah. So right now, roughly around 25 team members working across 8 countries or cities, and we are talking about here growing our team fast. Considering now on 14th we are getting into the first exchange. Over the period of next 30 days, we'll be moving into the second exchange, and probably next 6 months we are looking at upgrading ourselves into a tier 1 exchange. So that's a kind of a roadmap we have in terms of the exchanges. But at the same time, uh, in terms of we are integrating the ecosystems to the DAO. We have been working with the different domains like ad tech, insurtech, climate tech, etc., and bringing in domain experts, and also expanding team for handling that particular aspects of the business. So we have a business side going on, we have a fund side going on, trading by using a white cloud trade desk and generating yield. Then we have our in expansion and integration on our own tokens and our ecosystems. So there are like 3 buckets which we are focusing on. Right?
Pretty amazing. So you're in India now. We will be meeting, of course, in Dubai for the Global Family Office Investment Summit on the
Yes.
5th and 6th. What are your other stops over the next 30 to 60 days?
Oh, yes. So I'm actually going
Bitcoin
to be.
Palooza as well in Vegas, but go ahead.
Yeah. That's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to be in Dallas for the EarthX, which is one of the biggest event on climate tech happening. And we have been working with the foundation, public foundation, and UN agencies on this aspect through our other project. So yes, we'll be there, and we are launching a blockchain commission over there. So I will give you more details on that towards closer to the day. Then we have a deal flow show happening where we are trying to work and partner as a strategic partner to the show. So I will share with you on that more details. So that will be also happening before our Dubai meetings.
Yes. All right, good. And then we have then we have Dubai, and then of course Bitcoin 2025, and yeah, we're really making a splash here with the Mindwave DAO, the Nila token. Super excited about it. Again, how do people get involved? Where do they go?
Okay, so please go to the website sale.mindwavedao.com. You can buy currently at 7 cents. And you can use the refer code, which Bruce, so you get additional 5% discount. And you can use BNB, USDT, credit card, or for the India users, you can use UPI to buy it.
Amazing. Well, it's easy peasy. Go to sale.mindwavedao.com. You can use referral code 88100. As you mentioned, you get a 5% bonus. That's nothing to sneeze at as well, folks. So, Vin, it's always a pleasure. We're going to be together again here real soon for the big launch. I'm super excited about it.
Yes, bye-bye. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Cheers.
Cheers.
The great Vin Menon with the Mindwave DAO. You know, really interesting. One of the great things that I've gotten to do over all of these years, traveling around and speaking at so many conferences, is meet really amazing people that do stuff that's like nobody else does this. You know what I mean? I mean, a Bitcoin backed fund that's paying Bitcoin dividends for token holders, and it's all, you know, done, and all the paperwork is there, and the funds are there, and everything's paying out, and that's all done. I think most of that stuff's done in Singapore. We can talk more about that on the 14th when we have them back on. But really interesting stuff. I know we have some good friends that got involved. We're involved, and I think it's going to be really cool. So that is it for me today, folks. I hope that everybody has a wonderful Wednesday. Of course, we're heading into some big stuff over the next week, so we'll tell you more about that as we move forward. Hope everybody has a great day. Cheers.
Hey, Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2-bit exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey, Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2-bit exchange?
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be able to list our coins that we want, that we support, and they're going to be on this amazing derivatives platform. It's absolutely awesome.
Derivatives? I love derivatives. I can't wait to be on the trade copy program.
So what I want you to do is set up an account and then send me your UID, and let's set you up with a trade copy system, and you just let it run. Copy our trades. That's it. Easy peasy.
So you want me to open an account, send you my user ID, and you hook me up with the trade copy system. I can't wait. Sounds spectacular.
Hey, Matt. Hey, listen, I met with the guys at 2-Bit Exchange while I was in Dubai, and this platform really looks amazing.
Yeah, hi Bruce. Yeah, thank you again for that heads up. I mean, I've looked into this 2-bit platform. It does appear to have everything we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. 2-Bit, Toobit. They have great liquidity. They have futures platform. There's a lot of functionality that I think you're going to like on there. And they really want to work with us. They want to work with the Impact Money Show. And as you and I both know, if they have a good product and they want to work with us, well, hey, that's half the battle.
I mean, basically, I love that copy trade facility. I love the features on the platform. It's basically very simple to use.
Our viewers only need to set it up to copy our trades, and they just do all the trades that we do. Makes it really easy for people to participate. I think they're going to love it. I'm pretty excited about it.
And yeah, it's definitely going to benefit people. I mean, obviously with all the years of experience that we can pack into it, and people can basically benefit from that. Yeah, I definitely think it's a goer.
Hey, David. Yeah, man, I'm excited about it too. I mean, when you think of the ways that we can help our viewers earn money and be able to participate in the monetary revolution, this 2-bit platform just opens up all kinds of doors that they don't have right now.
Hey, Bruce, I'm checking out this platform. It's revolutionary.
That's absolutely correct. And the futures platform is amazing. Great liquidity. And the copy trader program, people are going to be able to make the trades exactly when we make them and make the money that we make. It's a win-win for everybody.
Open for U.S. customers, and you can deposit money with a credit or debit card. Doesn't get better than this.
Beautiful. And what do you think we should use as a referral code?
I think we should use Impact Money. That's the one. Impact Money.